If you have been sent a costs warning letter by your employer because you are taking them to Employment Tribunal, this video is for you because I'm going to look at the statistics of actually how often those warnings turn into real fines. And then we're also going to look at the criteria that the tribunal actually has to use to even decide to do one of these things. First, let's look at the statistics. How often does this actually happen? So the latest numbers we have are from 2018, and in 2018, only 6% of the time did the tribunal actually agree to award costs to the employer. That means that, say, 100 times the employers had applied to the tribunal and asked for the cost to be awarded, asked for the claimant to pay their legal bills. 6 times out of that 100, the tribunal agreed and ordered the claimant to pay. So that's a risk, but it's not like the hugest risk in the world. And let's talk about why that might be the case. Here are the 3 criteria, the only 3 criteria that means that a tribunal would award costs. It's A, B, and C here. So A is if somebody is behaving vexatiously, if they are essentially using the tribunal system to abuse the other person. The second way is if they have no reasonable prospect of success, because basically they're bringing forward a bogus claim or giving a bogus response. And then the third way essentially is if somebody's taking the piss with the tribunal, they're postponing at the last minute, and they're not complying with orders. Now, we often see employers using point B here, trying to essentially say, you don't have a decent claim, therefore it has no reasonable prospect of winning, and therefore we're going to come after you for costs. Now, in reality, if you decided to take your employer to tribunal, and let's say you had an unfair dismissal claim, and you had absolutely no documents, no contracts, no notes about who said what at one point, no real justification for your claim. If the tribunal asked you to justify it and you said it was unfair and you didn't give anything else, then yeah, that would be a bogus claim. That would probably fulfill point B there. But if you have notes about who said what, if you have documents about your contract and what was promised, if you believe that something has gone wrong, then you're probably not going to fall under point B. And finally, even in those 6% of cases, the tribunal also needs to take into consideration whether or not that person can actually pay. So there is a risk in having to pay costs for your employer, but it is not a slam dunk for the employer by any means. As long as you have a good faith case, you should be able to argue against it.